Taurus By the Horns podcast. By the Horns. The Taurus By the Horns podcast with national and world champion pistol shooters Jessie Harrison and KC starts now.
Well, thanks for sitting down with us, Bret.
Oh, my pleasure.
Good
Where
to
we
see
at?
you here at Sock F again.
Sock F again. Yeah, it's been a while since, it's been a long time since I've done a podcast. It's been a while for you guys, too.
Us too,
Is this
yeah.
officially season 2 of the Taurus
Yeah.
podcast?
I guess,
Let's call it that.
Year-wise, yeah, we're going to go with that.
We'll call it that.
Yeah, it is season 2.
Finally.
Yeah.
We had a little hiatus. Life got busy for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to take a break, though,
Yeah.
every once in a while and kind of refresh. So
Yeah.
We've
that's
been
good.
Keep everybody wanting for the next one.
Yeah.
They never know
Yes.
our next move.
They've been clamoring.
Yeah.
They've been clamoring for it. So here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. And the place we're at, too, we're at Barnsley Gardens and Resort here in northern
Adairsville.
Georgia.
Yeah.
And we're at the Sock F event, which for our viewers, this is the Special Operations Care Fund. And we do this every year. Taurus is a big supporter. We're all personally big supporters of this event. And it's very near and dear to our hearts. A lot of heroes here. So that, we were just talking about this earlier. These are guys that work in the shadows, quiet professionals, and they're the ones that allow us to sleep peacefully at night and enjoy our American freedom. So big thank you to Sock F and all that support Sock F and the guys and gals that fight diligently for our country. We love y'all.
Yeah, and shout out to Dave Kramer for kind of
He's the man.
Shout out.
standing up Sock F and getting it to where it is today.
Yes, sir.
And this is a special event for sure. It's
It is.
like you said, the people walking around here are heroes 100% and friends. It's really cool to be able to connect with some of these people, and then you see them throughout the year at different events, and like not people that would normally know who I am or ever say, hey, what's up? It's really cool to see.
Feels good. Yeah. I mean, at our wedding, we over half of the people there are that type of person, that type of guy that you would never know did what they did for a living. And our
Probably
wedding.
the safest room
Oh yeah, no, your
in
wedding.
America for the evening.
Yeah, that's the wrong wedding party to
That
to
was
try
my
to
backup
rob
plan
for sure.
in case Casey said no.
You just find someone else.
Yeah.
I was just going to unleash them on him. or that too. Your
Or
plan.
you find an
Or
alpha
both.
male. Yeah.
Both,
Yeah.
Find a real man.
Yeah. That's the place for sure. Yeah, it's a good place. Yeah.
Oh, and
Getting
we
caught
also
up.
had yesterday, because the event starts on Thursday and then today's the main event. Yesterday we had the Ladies Range Day, sponsored by Taurus. Thank you.
Yeah.
We had a whole line of TX22s out. Ran flawlessly. The ladies loved them.
All suppressed. Too.
All suppressed
Yeah.
from Elevated Silence. And it's just such a nice time for the ladies to go and have some socialization and girl talk. And we even brought out some submachine guns suppressed for them to shoot.
That was so super cool.
They loved it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's fun.
5 seconds on a magazine and they're all smiles.
Yeah. It's hard not to grin after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
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 And then we had a wine sommelier come out and do a wine tasting for us. It was great.
It's all my favorite stuff there.
Yeah.
That's
Guns.
fantastic.
And wine.
Full auto and wine. Like, what else do we need?
In that order.
Yeah. In that order.
Exactly. To preface, yes, I said once you start drinking wine, you're done shooting. So,
How many years have you been doing that event for Sock F?
I want to say, I
5?
think this
4?
may be my 5th year doing that.
So
Yeah.
out of those 5 years, this is the first year I got to see the dynamic because there's no boys allowed.
Yeah.
No boys allowed.
Yeah.
So
No guys.
we came over and
Brought the full autos over.
brought the full autos, loaded some mags,
Yeah.
and I tried to stay out of it completely. And it's just a beautiful thing to see the women out there, and they have their sisterhood, and they're all cheering and clapping and laughing with each other. It's just a good time.
It's so
Yeah,
fun.
I really love it.
It's funny. I've actually run into someone who attended that last year, completely unrelated, like not in the industry. I don't even, it's through a friend of mine that knew her and was like, the gun, I need to get the gun that Jessie was showing us how to shoot. And I'm like, well, I think it was this. Let me make sure.
Yeah.
And so she actually went out and bought one
Yeah.
very
yay.
shortly after that.
I've
And,
earned my keep at Taurus another
you
year.
sold at least one gun. So
Yeah, one person at a time, and
Yeah.
you're changing lives, and you're able to educate someone in the responsibility of carrying such a tool. So it's nice, you're affecting people.
What I like to hear is a lot of these women have tried to go to the range with their husbands. Now, granted, these are spouses of these warriors we were talking about. So they would have a great instructor in their husband to go to the range, but as we all know, the husband-wife dynamic at the shooting range isn't always like the best learning environment for the ladies.
Nope.
So they come to the range and like, yeah, my husband tries to show me this and I'm not having it. And then after an hour out there, they fall in love with it.
Yeah.
So they had a good time. They're now introduced to the shooting world. And then I see their husbands and I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, guys.
No, that's awesome.
But no, it's a fun time. Just thankful that Taurus allows me to do that, provides the firearms. We have it's such a special event. So
we're certainly happy to. It's like I said, this event's special. That group of women are also special, and what they've had to endure and do over their husbands' careers, and a lot of them also have careers also. But it's not easy to be the one at home taking care of the house and kids and everything else while your husband's gone. So
nope.
Special group of ladies.
Yes,
for sure.
absolutely. And then we just had SHOT Show in January. Very successful for us.
Like forever ago.
It does.
If I'm going to be honest, we're only in March, and I feel like SHOT Show was last year.
Yeah, February seemed like it really drug on.
It was super quick.
But it was SHOT Show was fantastic this year. I
went
thought.
good.
Yeah. Things are definitely back to normal. Last year felt a little bit normal, and then this year for sure was.
Yeah.
But man, we were busy. I'm always in meetings and that kind of stuff. But every time I was on the show floor, it was millions of people sitting in there.
Yes.
Hundreds at least.
Felt like millions for sure.
We'll go with millions. They don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of times at SHOT Show, it's funny because if I'm on the show floor, I'm not like a big deal, but people, for whatever reason, want to grab me and try to sell me something or do whatever.
For sure.
Because they've done their research and they see my name tag or whatever. This year was funny because there was a lot of people that were like standing in line waiting to get my attention for stuff, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, hey, I'm Bret, how can I help you?" or whatever, and they're like, "Can you tell me about this?" And I'm like, "I'll do my best." We have other people.
I literally have a meeting in 2 minutes.
I was like, well, not even that. It's like, well, there's other people that can talk about the guns and do that. I mean, not that I can't, but it's just funny. It's like they didn't know that I was the president of the company or anything. It's like, I'll tell you all about it.
He looks official.
Yeah, so it was fun though.
And we had a nice little launch with our new rifle, our new bolt action rifle. Man, this thing is so gorgeous, so beautiful.
It's a pretty thing you might have seen sitting right here.
That was certainly the big launch of SHOT for us. I think it was unexpected from Taurus to come out the hunting product like that. We came out with a bunch of other cool stuff. The Deputy's been a home run single action revolver.
Now that was brought back, correct? We used to have a single action.
We had one called the Gaucho, which was a great gun as well. This has some, I won't say minor design tweaks, but certainly is updated from that version. But yeah, I think it was something missing out of our revolver product line. We have such a big, wider range of revolvers that we offer, and it was something that we wanted to bring back. And so that's been very well received. A lot of new stuff on the Rossi side. Even on Heritage, we have quite a few new products too. So it was just a great SHOT Show for new product launches. Everything went very smoothly. But yeah, the Expedition rifle is definitely the star of the show. Yeah,
it really is, and it's a great addition to the family, especially since we have all the handguns that everyone loves to hunt with. You and I include, all three of us here love the Raging Hunter series, but it's nice to elevate a little bit of the product and get us into the bolt action side, and as we know, ARs, some of the bolt actions are a dime a dozen, but what really differentiates us from the competition with our bolt action rifle? What would you say are some of the good talking points? Yeah, so we could have gone a lot of different ways with this gun, and it will grow into a larger product family over time. But we started off with two specific models, the 308 and the 6.5 Creedmoor, based off the same stock and action. So you're really talking a different barrel configuration. But no, so when we designed this gun, we didn't want to launch this as the very entry price point $300 retail gun. Correct. There's great guns out there for that price. You can go get a Savage Axis at Bass Pro or something like that. Great guns, yeah, for relatively cheap. But they're good guns that shoot well. And I didn't see that as where we wanted to position ourselves with this. As you guys know, we have a lot of
like really adept rifle people on our staff. A lot of hunters, a lot of people that like precision long range shooting.
Great engineers.
And so we really put all of our mind power together to come up with what I think is the most feature packed rifle in its class. You know, a lot of the features that you're going to get on this gun are things that you would get out of a custom gun that's, you know, 4 times as expensive as this.
Correct.
So, you know, it still fits what we do at Taurus. We're offering the most value, right? Yeah. The most features for the money. You know, you look at some of our revolvers like the Raging Hunter, those aren't cheap guns. We're not always the very low price point leader. But what they offer and what this gun offers is a lot of value for that money, high quality build. And that's really what this rifle is. So there's a lot of really small design features that go into it. But the big thing with it is the construction of the gun, all stainless steel, you know, the processes that we use to make some of the components. Barrel is hammer forged. Typically on a stainless steel hammer forged barrel, you're talking well over $1,000 retail for that type of rifle. And then you add some of these other components of it. So, you know, like let's talk about the barrel in general. So you can see there's a lot of people called it spiral fluting when they first saw it. You can see that there's some tool marks that appear as a spiral down the barrel. I mean, that's what comes out of a hammer forged machine. That's what it looks like.
Almost looks fluted.
Almost looks fluted.
So I think it's not cut to look like that. That's just the process.
It's part of the process. Yeah. You know, really a lot of the hammer forged barrels out there go into like AR-15s and things like that, and that finish is kind of machined off as they profile it. Oh, so you don't see that typically on a hammer forged barrel, but that's what it looks like when it comes out of the machine. Now we bead blast it, so it's smoothed out a little bit, a little less dramatic than normal. But you know, those barrels, the 308's an 18-inch barrel, kind of designed to add a silencer on the end of it. So, you know, a little bit shorter than normal for a 308. You're not going to lose a lot of velocity. No. You know, and I personally believe accuracy out of 18-inch barrel is superior than something longer on something like this. And
when you have a rifle this length slung, it's easier for you to maneuver under trees, branches, just any type of obstacle.
Yeah, you don't have this long barrel sticking up above your head.
Then with a suppressor on top of it,
Yeah, even more so.
Your kind of spatial awareness when you're hiking or out in the woods is, you know, where your head is. Right. That's what you're used to ducking under, whatever. And so, like, this gun slung over my shoulder, it comes up to basically where my head is.
Perfect.
So I'm ducking under branches and stuff, and it's not getting hung up.
In the
that's the idea. And then if you want to throw a silencer on it, it's not any longer than a normal rifle.
Correct.
You know, a traditional 24-inch barrel that, you know, people like to get. So I think that was a smart feature that we did. You know, our accuracy testing on it, we tested the first 30 rifles that came out with a wide range of ammo.
Correct.
The average group size was .68 MOA.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, we kick around this idea of should we offer a sub MOA guarantee? I'm very comfortable with that.
Correct.
Like we're well under that. You know, the caveat of that is quality of ammo, quality of shooter. Yeah. The rifle is the same.
Too many variants.
You know, so I could probably find ammo that doesn't shoot well in it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a, you know, qualified enough rifle shooter, but I could probably give it to a novice rifle shooter and maybe they don't, you know, have the trigger control and their breathing and some of that stuff. So, you know, it's hard to be able to offer that. We are offering a sub-MOA guarantee on it, but the rifles are much more capable than that. I shot the first 2 rifles I shot, I produced under 0.4 MOA groups with them.
Wow.
So
Absolutely
it's a very accurate rifle.
Yeah.
And you know, with sub $800 retail, you know, MSRP's $950 or something.
Right. Yeah.
Real price at retail is going to be around $800. So you
can't beat that.
You can't beat that.
That's silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, you can kind of work your way back into the rest of the features. So like I said, all stainless steel construction, and then we're doing a DLC finish over the top. So the black finish that's on there is diamond-like carbon, which is a PVD coating that is really, really popular in, you know, other industries and is becoming a lot more popular in the firearm world. A lot of pistols use it. It's a very hard and wear-resistant surface. combined with the stainless steel, is very weather resistant, so you're not going to get corrosion and some of that kind of stuff.
Which this rifle will be exposed to, all the elements.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
that's the idea. You're going to hike around the woods or the mountains or something. You're going to get rained on. You're going to get mud. You're going to get dust. It just makes it so it's a more durable finish. It's not gonna be a problem.
Right.
Now, you get it wet and you throw it in a gun case and throw it in your closet for
a decade.
You're gonna have some surface rust.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that DLC finish, you should just be able to
rub some oil on it. And
take oil or solvent on a rag and it's gonna wipe right out.
I have some of my competition guns with DLC finish. I love it.
Well, it makes a lot of sense in pistols too, because it's a very slick finish. So you get a lot of mechanically you get a lot of advantage there. And you can feel it in the bolt. The bolt's very smooth in this, and that's partially because of the DLC finish. Let's see. The other thing that people like about bolt action rifles is being able to customize it. It's a lot like pistols. Stocks, chassis, triggers, different things like that. You got to have aftermarket accessories available. So we built this gun around a Remington 700. We didn't copy the action, but the compatibility with Remington 700 accessories is there. So any Remington 700 stock is going to fit on there. We did find some of the triggers, there's some variation there, so it works with most Remington 700 triggers, but there's a couple that don't work quite like they should. So we designed it to be compatible with Remington 700, and if there's something out there that doesn't work, maybe it doesn't work on all Remington 700s as well. So that's kind of one of the things.
Chassis is really cool. You're able to have that embedded Arca rail in there. You've got the Spartan Precision attachment, so you can just plug and play. You're not having to put that adapter like I have to do and all the other bolt action rifles that we've had.
Yeah, I think the stock was probably the most thought out design in the whole rifle. So we wanted to have a lot of compatibility with different like what I would call like stabilizing or shooting platforms. So if you shoot off a bipod, you have a sling swivel, so traditional like Harris type bipods work. We molded in the Spartan Precision adapter, so that doesn't really add any cost to the rifle, but it's a great custom feature that you'd pay a gunsmith well over $100 to install.
Correct.
It comes stock with that. So any Spartan Precision adapter, the bipods there, tripods, all that kind of stuff that, super lightweight hunting gear that is really stable is there. We put an M-LOK plate in there, so you can put a Arca adapter. You can do really any M-LOK type of attachment on that, which is, I think, a really smart thing that didn't cost a lot to do, so that's great. And then we kind of contoured the fore end of the stock to fit in square of a bog death grip or a hog saddle, those type of clamp attachments. So the problem with most hunting rifles is the fore end is typically contoured for your hand, so it's not square. We do have a portion that is contoured like that, but that particular part where you would clamp it down into one of those death grip type of tripods, we made it square, so when you tighten it up, it doesn't cant the rifle.
It's going to be solid.
It's going to sit square in there and be flat. And so that's one of those things, because if you ever set up on like a bog death grip tripod, you don't always have all the time in the world to do that. You throw the rifle up there and tighten it down, and all of a sudden, your rifle cants on you. And you're like, oh, I lost my sight picture or whatever. So it's a smart design. And then, what would traditionally be called bottom metal, or, the magazine system on it is designed for all AICS pattern magazines. So we have our own magazine, but, if you want to buy extra mags, you can buy extended Magpul mags, the Accuracy International mags, a lot of options there.
The attention to detail is so great, because you've got so many different hunters that use so many different systems. Like you said, like a person that a little bit more simple bipod would be that bog death grip, and you've got that covered. You've got like the PRS or NRL shooter who would use the Arca rail, and then you've got like the guys that are running super slick, real light systems like the Spartan Precision. You've got that there, so you've got everything covered. It's just the attention to detail is just amazing. It's not just, hey, let's just build this and whatever happens. It's no, this is purpose driven, it's mission specific, and everyone can use it.
Well, and I think it's just having options to do whatever you like to do. And, I might be at the range just target shooting. I might want something different, but when I'm hunting, I typically have a Spartan Precision bipod, and I tuck it into the side of my little Kuiu
you forget it's
harness.
there. It's so
it doesn't add weight. I think that model weighs like 4 ounces.
Right.
So it's nothing. You don't notice it in your chest harness or whatever. It's not attached to the rifle, so it's not hanging off the rifle, which is nice.
Yeah. You're not getting caught on anything while you're maneuvering through places. Yeah.
Exactly.
What's the overall weight of the rifle? Do you know?
It's right at 7 pounds. So it's going to depend between the the optic and then the 18-inch or 20-inch barrel.
Yeah.
So the 6.5 has a little bit longer barrel, which carries the contour a little bit thicker through the portion here. The muzzle diameter is going to be the same on both. So the taper of the 6.5 is going to be a little more gradual out to 20 inches than it is on the 18-inch.
That's really nice.
7 pounds. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, you can come under 10 pounds. And I personally don't like a rifle that's too light anyways, especially for hunting. You don't get that follow through. I'd rather have a little bit more of a good follow through, being able to see where my shot was when I did pull that trigger and call my shot, as opposed to having a lighter rifle. Then you're completely off target. You have no idea. Yeah, especially if you're magged up all the way. Like you said, it's easier to take weight out in your kit than it is in your rifle, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and a couple things. So I think the shootability of the rifle is important.
Yeah.
We didn't want to come out with a 5-pound mountain rifle. Those are typically not that easy to shoot. A lot of times the barrels are so thin, you might get a couple rounds to group, but good luck shooting a 5-shot group.
Yeah.
You're not going to. Yeah.
The barrel's going to heat up so fast, and you're just going to have a lot of shot displacement when it does that. So we went with what I call a semi-weight barrel. It's not thin, but it's not a thick bull barrel. It's kind of in between. Yeah. And it's a little bit shorter and more compact. So the balance of the rifle is great. It plays well with shooting, but it's also going to you're going to be able to print good 5-shot groups with it.
Correct.
Which I think is equally as important. A lot of the times these accuracy guarantees are 3-shot accuracy guarantees.
Yeah. Not 5.
And we're shooting 5-shot groups with this. So
is each rifle that's going to go out, it'll be shot, tested, and
they are all
accuracy grouped?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to provide a test target with it, but certainly when they come off the production line, we're shooting them.
Yeah.
These are made down in Brazil, and so that is dependent on ammunition availability. And a consumer can call in and say, "Well, I have X ammo." Well, we're not testing every ammo for every gun. So, but with the barrel process that we have, it should be very, very consistent. And what we've seen so far is barrel to barrel, they're producing the same results.
Yeah.
And generally all the guns that we tested liked ammo the same across the board.
Nice.
And you're actually going to take one of our rifles on a really cool bucket list hunt, at least for me, and I think for a lot of hunters across America, if not the world. You should tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, this gun it's meant to be a hunting gun. So, we've already done that. I think we got the first batch of 5 rifles in the U.S. and the next day I took one out to Colorado on an antelope hunt, and it was like, as soon as we got them, we started hunting with them. And that one performed extremely well. Then sent one to Africa right away with the Field Ethos guys.
That's right.
There's a great video that they produced on that where, Pat Hemingway was shooting kudu at 400 yards with it, and
wow.
And he had never shot the gun before. I mean, he picked it up and went to Africa with it and sighted it in there and all that. So
that's the type of rifle that you want. That's the type of hunting rifle you want, a pickup rifle, not one that you've got to spend months with.
Yeah.
I talked to him at Dallas Safari, and he said the rifle shot great. The only problem he had was with an optic, but the rifle itself did its job. It did what it needed to do.
Yeah, and the other problem he had was I mean, it was the very first guns we produced, so some of the textured paint on the stock was chipping off, but it was also dragging it on rocks and all that. And
I wanted to. Yeah,
you're gonna use it.
Yeah.
You know, we've actually changed a couple things in the paint to try to make it a little more durable, but you know, with use that will happen.
Yeah.
It tells a story.
Yeah, none of our competition guns are without scratch.
Yeah.
Like we want scratch. Like it's character.
The wood stock on my Blazer is also scratched,
Yeah.
so you know it's just how it is.
Yeah.
But, so like we try to get these in the field as quickly as possible, you know, in the development, and so everyone's had really good results with it. So, I obviously trust the gun. I've been able to shoot them a lot, and you know, had good results with it. I'm gonna take it on a doll sheep hunt in Northwest Territories.
You're talking his language now.
I am going to do a couple things differently on it. It's going to be somewhat custom gun for that rifle, but it's our action with a carbon barrel, and part of the reason is I want a little bit shorter 6.5 Creedmoor barrel that's carbon fiber, and we don't produce anything like that yet. So I'm doing that, and then I am going to use the Q side check chassis, I think.
Oh, it's going to be sexy.
So it's going to be a fairly lightweight gun. I think with the scope, it'll be about 6.5 pounds. And I like, part of the reason I want that chassis is the folding stock is very nice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have everything in my pack, including the rifle.
You can carry it up front if need be as well with a folding stock, which is pretty cool.
I think that type of hunt, from what I'm seeing, and I've never done doll sheep or any kind of sheep out in the mountains like that. My only real backcountry hunting experience is like archery elk, where I was 10 miles from the truck maybe, but I could hike to the truck and drive home if I wanted to.
Yeah.
This is very different. So
you're sleeping in a tent up on the mountain.
Yep, everything is with you.
Food, water.
All of that. Yeah. So it will be I've been planning my gear for a while now. And
2 years now.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah.
I think I've been more excited about it. I'm like, hey, you've got 13 months left.
It's on his calendar on our fridge. Like,
hey man, time's ticking.
He crosses off a day every day.
We gotta climb.
Meanwhile, I'm just on the stair climber every day, and trying to get in shape and be ready for it. But
you're ready, dude. I'm
how
so
many
excited.
days is the hunt?
It's a 10 days of actual being out in the mountains. The travel to and from is lengthy, so it's like 2.5-3 days each direction to get there, and then once you get dropped off in the mountains by plane, you're on foot the rest of the time.
Oh man,
are there grizzly bears out there?
I think there are. I don't think that there's a lot of them, but there are definitely bears. There's wolves. Not real concerned about that so much. It's just being ready to walk and take care of your feet and do all that, because I think you're going to get blisters on your feet. You got to be prepared to treat those and manage that kind of pain and just never quit. And I've talked to people who've hunted with our outfitter that we're going with, and they said, oh, I know people shot a sheep on the second day, and I know people have shot a sheep the last hour of the 10th day. And it's one of those things that's like, if you go in thinking you're going to shoot one the first couple of days, you're not mentally prepared to be there the whole time.
Nope.
And I hope you get it the first or second day, but
me too.
It's hunting.
You've got to be prepared for the whole thing.
80%'s luck.
I hope I get on like the 5th day.
You get the experience.
I'll experience it. I'll be out there. And I love the mountains. I think that's kind of my happy place. My wife likes to go on vacation on the beach, and I'd rather be in the mountains. Not skiing, but hunting.
No, hunting.
So I think that part's gonna be super cool.
Are you on horses too? Or?
No.
Oh, jeez.
They do horseback hunts, but I am not doing one. I don't know why, but no, I think it's just as good for me to just hike around and
be on your feet.
It's funny. The average elevation isn't that high, but I think what you climb up and down is substantial enough that like the average elevation's like 6,000 feet, but you're probably going to go up to 10 and you might go down to 3 or something.
You're gonna feel it,
And we're living at sea level, so
we're
that's going to be a huge
difference
for you.
There's no training at altitude for me.
You don't have the mask. I haven't seen you in the gym with the mask.
No, I don't have that. I don't have that, unfortunately.
He wants to live.
Yeah.
But no, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think the rifle that I spec'd out, and I'm going to build one for our customer that's going with me, built him the exact same gun. I think it's made for that type of hunting.
Mission specific,
So I think that's the cool thing about this rifle is you can adapt it like that.
Yeah, you can do what you need to.
Really cool.
I mean, assuming you're competent enough to swap a barrel and do all that kind of stuff.
Correct.
You know, I've done that for years. It's one of my hobbies is building the bolt action rifles and figuring out how they shoot well and, you know, developing loads and doing all that. So it's fun for me to kind of toy with the gun and put it in some different configurations. So
yeah, I've been on the range with you, and you literally have a book that you log info. You'll take a shot and you'll write something down, and you'll take another shot, you write something down, you wait for your barrel to cool down, suppressor to kind of cool down as well, and you pay attention.
No, it's since I worked at Loopold, it's been a kind of a hobby of mine, and you know, you end up accumulating a lot of rifles that way, because I'll build a rifle, work up a load, I'll figure out what works well, and then I'll start a new project, you know, and, you know, you can only hunt with really one rifle at a time. And I don't give a lot of attention to all my rifles, but there's a couple that I shoot a lot.
Your rifle safe looks like our pistol safe.
Yeah, it's full of rifles for sure.
For a lot of our viewers and some of our consumers, it's really cool. Behind the scenes, we had like an internal little powwow where Bret came in and he led a class on how to mount your optic, how to maintain this rifle, how to utilize a rifle properly. And it was really nice. It's very refreshing, as opposed to some president or CEO who just goes and delegates, hey, I'll tell my engineer to do this. Let me tell my marketing guy to do this. And he didn't do any of that. He was very hands-on with his project. So you can tell the attention to detail is all there, obviously. But at the same time, there's a lot of love that was thrown into this rifle because it's your baby. Right?
It is. I mean, certainly we have like Josh Cooper, our product manager for the rifles. I mean, he did the execution on it, right?
Of course.
You know, and we talked a lot throughout the process, and, you know, I spent a lot of time in the factory.
Shout out to Josh.
You know, doing all that. But yeah, Josh and Olivier and the product team did a ton of work, you know, actually getting it to a physical thing.
Yeah.
That's really beyond what I'm capable or able to do, even with,
but you've been
even with
very
just with my
hands-on.
time.
You've been very hands-on on this.
I mean, every detail we discussed, and I was involved in the decision making. I heard, you know, new opinions or new ideas on it for sure. So I can't say like everything on it is my idea, but, you know, I think that team executed extremely well on it, and that's been really a fun thing. And, you know, to your point, this class that I taught, you know, we do have a lot of people that are competent with rifles. We also have a lot of people that grew up in Miami and are just shooting pistols their whole life or ARs, and they've never even owned a bolt action rifle.
Correct.
Some of our best shooters on staff don't even own a bolt action rifle until now. And so, you know, we can't have people show up at a range event and not have the scope mounted properly, or, you know, not have it zeroed, or not, you know,
not be able to talk about the product in depth.
Yeah. So I thought it was important that people understood this is a little bit of a different animal than a pistol. You know, and then they're going to get questions, whether it's at a trade show or from someone that, you know, what does barrel break-in look like? You know, how often should I clean this? You know, and there's different philosophies on all that, but I kind of just gave them a broad overview of how different people think and what my experience has been with it. And, I think everyone kind of appreciated the opportunity to dive into it. And like I told them in that class, we can get as nerdy as we want with this, but we're going to lose some people in the process. Yeah. So let's figure out, you know, what you guys really need to know and dive into the details, and hopefully everyone learned a lot.
Yeah. Well, I sat there. I was there personally, and I'd say 95% of the folks there had a pen and notepad and were writing down, you know, things that you were saying, and diligently, and actually cared. So it was nice. You know, very refreshing to see a gun company and gun people still be so, you know, into the product, as opposed to just, you know, dozing off or playing on their phones. They cared. Yeah. Everyone cares. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think people are really excited about this. You know, like you said, it's not like we're brand new to the hunting space.
No.
We've had the Raging Hunter, and, you know, like on the Rossi side, we've had lever action rifles and different things like that. But to have a true, you know, traditional bolt action rifle that, speaks to a broader audience in the hunting space. Not every hunter owns a pistol. A lot of them do, probably most of them do, but not all of them. And we haven't ever really appealed to that kind of broad market out there where it's just someone who likes to go hunt whitetail, or maybe they live out west or whatever. So it's kind of an exciting opportunity there that we get to talk to consumers that we've never really talked to before.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that part's really cool.
Yeah. And this gun's so universal. You can use it anywhere. Like you said, you can whitetail hunt in the south, southeast. You can go out west, hunt muley and elk, spot and stalk with it. You can take it to Africa, do a plains game hunt. You can do dangerous game with this anywhere. You can go to Greenland and go shoot a muskox with this if you wanted to. So it's just like the jack of all trades, if not better. I can't wait to get out in the field and go harvest whatever animal we can with it. I'll be super proud.
When did you say your sheep hunt is?
It's in August.
Coming up in August.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a follow-up episode.
For sure.
And hear how everything went, show pictures.
I think we'll have a videographer on the trip. So,
good.
We'll do a play-by-play then. We'll have the video up. And
you know what? Just
what
go
happened
we'll
right
go
here?
live with you.
Yeah.
We'll just,
We'll just go live.
for
Put us
10
on your
days
shoulder.
straight.
Yeah, I don't know what the cell reception will be. Actually, I do know what the cell reception will be. There will not be any.
Nothing.
So
Yeah,
that might be difficult.
Yeah.
But
Brett's a funny guy though. Like we were after you came back, or actually you were still in Africa and you had shot your Cape Buffalo, aka the Black Death, with your 460 Raging Hunter, and you FaceTimed us and we were driving down to Bainbridge actually, and you were like so calm, cool as a cucumber. Like I'm like, dude,
He's
show me some
going
emotion.
crazy
I'm like
over
in the
here,
car,
yeah.
like, ah! And you're like, yeah, pretty cool, man.
it's like the guy at lunch today. He asked me if I was ready for the hunt, and I'm like,
yeah, sure.
I guess. I mean, I'm still in the process of getting ready, and he's like, you don't seem excited.
No, I am.
I'm very excited. I can't
This
wait.
is his excited face.
So I'm super
I've got
excited.
a lot to do before then, but it's fun.
I've been excited for 2 years, and I can't wait to see the footage. I can't wait to hear, because I feel like I'm a part of that hunt too, because you're able to utilize our product. You're able to convey the message and share the story again, and it gets my palms sweaty. I love it.
Hopefully it's the first, I'm pretty confident it'll be the first sheep shot with one of our rifles, because, I mean,
There's only a few out there right now.
right. No one's had the opportunity yet.
There's
and I'm,
4 of them.
Yeah.
And you're shooting one of them.
Yeah. And we'll be shipping before then, but that's going to be the first real, at least for Doll sheep, first season available.
That'll
people,
be cool.
So,
Crown jewel.
yeah.
Personally for me.
Actually, let me revise that. Hopefully our customer that I'm taking that's very, very important to our business is the
First one.
the first one to shoot.
There you
and
go.
then
Super
I'll
selfless.
shoot.
And then you'll follow up with
There
one.
you go.
Yeah.
He
There
gets to
you
shoot
go.
one first, hopefully.
Yeah.
So.
Where do you see the expansion of this line going for the rifle?
Yeah, what
calibers,
calibers?
different modifications, or things in the future?
I think the easy stuff, there's a couple things I'll keep under wraps on it, but the easy stuff is, there's a lot of popular calibers out there. Like this is a short action. Obviously, we'll have a long action eventually with 300 Win Mag and, PRCs and those popular calibers. I'd like to build something kind of unique in the 375, like,
big game.
make a safari rifle. And I have some ideas on what to do kind of differently than what we have so far there, to kind of make it more, I want it to be kind of more of an homage to what a traditional safari rifle looks like. So you're talking iron sights. You can obviously put a scope on it too. But there's a lot of really popular rifles over in Africa that aren't that popular in the U.S., but no one's really making them anymore. They're all hunting with rifles that are 50 years old. In a lot of ways. And they still work, but there's the opportunity to build a proper safari rifle is still there. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
A
Proper.
So they say it's the proper.
Yeah. And then, and I think, we can grow this into different things, like different stock options. This doesn't have an adjustable cheek piece. We could easily do that.
Yeah.
We can do a bull barrel design. We designed the stock to be adaptable later on, where we can add those features to it. So, if this grows and it's a successful thing like we think it will be, there's no reason we couldn't have an NRL model that plays well there, that doesn't take a lot of modification to get there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think carbon barrels are obviously very popular. You know, I have mixed feelings about them because I like to just sit at the range and shoot all day and shoot a bunch of 5-shot, 10-shot groups. And, you know, I think carbon barrels lend to some problems with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just harder to get consistent big groups with that. So, and when I say big, I mean like 5, 10-shot groups. I want the groups to be small, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of cool extensions that we'll be able to do. You know, we got to design a different bolt face, which is in process, and then we'll design the long action version and a couple other things.
Do you ever see this being something that could go into the executive grade line and having something more custom or high end?
Yeah,
Girl,
I think
stop.
absolutely.
That's so cool.
Oh,
That's so
that's
cool.
big brain right there.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah, of course.
That's
I
my
think. Yeah, I mean, we built a rifle that looks rugged. It looks like it's ready for adventure.
Yeah.
We could certainly make one that's, you know, gloss or has a little bit different,
Maybe like
classy
when you hold your
touch to
pinkies out
it.
with. Well,
Yeah,
like a
for
high-end wood or something would be really cool too.
Pretty.
Yeah, we could definitely do things like that.
Yeah.
One that's still going to get scratched up, though.
I mean, this this does have gold rings on it.
It does.
Yeah, yeah.
That's bougie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are very special rings that Field Ethos and our buddies at Tally
I love
made.
them.
Oh, I just saw the FE now that you said
Yeah,
that.
that's
There's
really
only
nice.
a handful of those that are out there.
Those
Yeah.
are pretty.
That's so awesome.
I had to throw that on there.
You had to. It's such a beautiful rifle.
Absolutely.
It handles well. I was literally dry firing it, and you can take an offhand shot at 100 if you had to, no problem.
Yeah, the trigger's great.
It really is.
It is adjustable. I haven't messed
You
with
haven't.
it.
It's still stock.
Yeah, I mean, you can see we call it lawyer glue, but the little blue glue under there that, you know, it hasn't been messed with. But yeah, I think if you really wanted to, if you're just going to take it on the range and shoot precision, lighten that trigger up,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
What's it set at, like from the factory? What's the weight on it?
It's 3.5 pounds.
Okay.
So
One stage, single stage trigger.
yep,
Yeah.
single stage, and we set it at 3.5 pounds. It's crisp, but it will lighten up over a couple hundred rounds. It's going to lighten up.
Yeah.
And so we want to retain the drop safety through it lightening
Yeah.
up because it will settle in.
break-in.
It will settle in about 3 pounds.
Okay.
Um,
What
so-
can you adjust it to? Like how light could you go with it if you wanted?
I haven't really measured it.
Yeah.
I know our engineers have. I don't have that number off the top of my head, but I
Yeah.
would think it'd be, you know, you get under 2 pounds if you wanted to.
Yeah. It's nice.
That's
It's already a
nice.
nice trigger. There's
Yeah.
very minimal over travel in it. Breaks clean and crisp, and that's everything you want in a hunting trigger.
Yeah.
You know, you want it to just break perfectly so
Yep.
you can call your shot no matter what the distance is. A wonderful gun. I'm excited to go hunt with it.
Me too. And I'm excited to hear about how Brett's sheep hunt goes. We're, like I said, we've got a calendar.
Yeah.
Casey tells me every single day is 217 days left to go
Probably.
Brett's hunt. Like,
I'm probably going to cry. Rightfully so.
please FaceTime him again.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Just let him-
Hey,
whenever
Don't call Allie after 16 days on the mountain. Call
Yeah.
Casey.
He's not going to have any reception for it.
whenever I get to a place with Wi-Fi, I
Yeah.
will.
There you go.
Okay.
There's a base camp, so the thing is, like, the tag comes with a wolf tag, and then
Ooh,
there's
nice.
opportunity to hunt mountain caribou also.
That's
And
awesome.
so-
Caribou's on my list. I would love to do a caribou.
I've never been that interested into it, and I saw some woodland caribou when I was
Are they
moose
big?
hunting.
Are they big?
They're big, but I
Yeah.
think mountain caribou is like what you want to. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'd probably hunt both of them, but
Yeah.
um,
It's 5 subspecies, right, of caribou, I believe.
yeah.
I only
something
know
like
that through Fred Eichler. Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Shout out Fred.
Yeah.
Shout
Just
out
hunted
Fred
everything.
Eichler.
Yeah.
Recurve
So
bow.
yeah, I mean, the opportunity's there to keep hunting, you know, while
Yeah.
I'm out there, and
Nice.
certainly would love to shoot a wolf if I see one, but
Yeah.
like my chances, I'm probably going to see a wolf before I see sheep, and then it's like, well, I'm
You
not
don't
going to
wanna-
haul this thing around with me because
Yeah.
I mean that's really what you'd have to do
Those are all things you want to shoot after.
yeah. I
Well,
mean,
then
the
it could also be a
focus
bear
is-
attracted having that
too.
around camp.
Yeah, and let me just carry this bloody carcass
Yeah.
around on my back,
Yeah.
and
Let me be bait.
yeah, just have bears following me around the mountain.
Is it? Do you have to have a electric fence with you? Are you guys carrying one?
Any bear protection?
Cool. Bear spray.
No,
Ooh.
Nothing.
there's
Yeah.
a rifle.
Right here.
Sleeping like this, just pointed outside his tent.
Yeah.
And you can't have handguns, I believe, there
I don't
as
think,
well.
I don't think so. You might be able to get a special permit for them. I'm
Yeah.
not going to bring one.
I'm not going to make fun of you, Canada, but
Yeah.
that's lame.
Hopefully some things will change up there and
You
they'll
taking
get
any
that.
bear spray?
No, I mean maybe the guide. I don't know. I'm not taking
The guide will have everything they need for sure.
I'm gonna show up with the clothes on my back and a rifle.
The minimum that you need to carry.
And a couple of dry food packs.
Yeah, no, they're providing all of that.
Oh, they are.
Oh, that's
okay,
cool.
good.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
Cool.
Yeah, the tent and the food they provide once I get there.
Okay.
Wall tent?
No, little tiny tent that I can carry around with me.
Are you gonna fit in it, or your feet?
No, I don't know.
He's tall.
Hopefully they got the long version.
It's just
I
a
don't know.
tarp and a stick. He's gonna.
I actually have that type of setup, a tarp.
Yeah.
It's like a tarp that you're supposed to put over a hammock, but I'm bringing that because it's super
just in
lightweight
case.
and small. I'll have that in my pack. You might have to just throw it up real quick and get out of the rain for a little bit.
Yeah.
So you just sit under there in glass and eat your macaroni and cheese or whatever is in
it was powder when you started.
Whatever's in the pouch. No, it's gonna be
awesome.
fun.
That's gonna be good.
It's gonna
I'm
be
excited.
a lot of fun.
Do you have to carry a Garmin InReach?
I have an InReach. Everything I can tell. I mean, I have a satellite phone too, but it's kind of big and bulky, and the InReach is cool.
Small.
Yeah, I think it's
you're in a pinch.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I can text people. I think you can Bluetooth it to your phone, so you can use your phone a little bit.
That's cool.
It uses data to do that. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be. That's all I really need.
That's so exciting, man. What a dream. One day when I grow up.
When you grow up, you want to be Bret Vorhees.
Yeah. Same size and everything.
That part might be tough, but
there's surgery for this.
They're doing. I've seen leg implants now,
Oh,
like
you
leg
should get
extensions.
You should get
like
some.
everything stays the same, but the lower half of his leg is like this much longer now.
What's up, guys? I'm 5'10" now.
No, you gotta go big.
Short.
If you're doing it, go 6'5".
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's on stilts.
Got a short little torso.
I love it.
I love it. That's
Always
so cool.
wanted a tall guy.
Yeah.
Hey, chill.
I'm joking. Only if you got the surgery.
What would your pant size be? You'd be like a 26, 38?
20. I'd be a 30 waist with maybe like a 40-inch inseam.
I love it.
Weird.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
What about anything new on the horizon at Taurus outside of hunting rifle lines
Any new news to share?
that you can say?
Yeah.
No, a lot. Yeah, a lot. We've, obviously the new product stuff's the obvious things that we don't really talk a whole lot about until it's time, but we have a ton of exciting stuff there. Some new pistol models we're getting ready to come out with throughout this year. A lot on the revolver side still. Rossi has a ton of stuff. So we just came out the R95 lever action last year, which is like started with 30-30. Now we have 45-70. Be a couple of additions to that.
Big caliber.
So that's really exciting. And then we'll do some pistol caliber stuff there as well. So
cool.
357, 44 Magnum, that kind of stuff. So that R95 line, which has gone phenomenally. It's a fantastic rifle. That will grow a lot. Let's see. When do you think this will come out?
I mean, we can as soon as you want it to, boss.
Yeah. we'll leave it at that for the new product stuff then, because we'll launch this
or
tomorrow.
You can just talk and we'll hold it.
Yeah. Beep, beep. So the new product stuff is obvious. As far as the company goes, we're still growing a lot. We still have our challenges down in Brazil with their political environment and some of that stuff that's happening. But we opened our factory in India.
Wow.
So that's
big.
Officially in production. That's huge.
How big is the factory there?
It's not. I don't know the exact square footage. It might be like 150,000 square feet, something like that. It's not compared to Brazil. Certainly not a massive factory, but it's starting off as assembly, and then it will grow into more of the processes being vertical there.
Wow.
But like the defense industry in India is growing rapidly, and we're going to be a part of that. So it's exciting for the company.
Have you been over there?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I'm never going to, hopefully. Nothing against India as a country.
It's far.
I haven't heard great things about the food.
I'll stick to my American Indian food.
Yeah.
My butter chicken.
Yeah.
And Alpharetta.
Yeah. So I I don't have a ton of interest in that.
Yeah.
Taj Mahal. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have a team that works over there.
Yeah.
And they do a great job. I would just mess it up. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe
Lost
we can
in
hunt
translation.
over there. Maybe if we get the right connections, we can hunt animals that you
What
wouldn't
can you
have
hunt in India?
Some crazy stuff.
Tiger?
Well, yeah. Well, I
Sure.
would like to.
You cannot hunt tiger.
Yeah, if anyone has a tiger hunting connection in India,
Hit us up.
hit us up.
DM us. Drop into the
rifle
DM.
will travel.
Yeah,
Have rifle will travel.
that is the biggest bucket list hunt ever. Like hunting tiger
Yeah.
on
Problematic.
elephant back.
Yeah.
Problematic.
On
too,
elephant back.
obviously. On an Indian elephant. Oh my gosh. To be alive in the 1800s.
Oh yeah, yeah. No.
You also would stink. So I mean.
Yeah,
You
it'd be
don't
like
get to
Oregon
shower as
Trail. You
much.
get dysentery and you're done
Right?
for.
Yeah, I watch Yellowstone.
Yeah.
You ain't showering.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Gross.
if you find a river, maybe.
Yeah, you got
but
poopy butt. The majority of the day, like
That's you.
that's for the birds, man.
Speak
So
for
anyway,
yourself. Yeah.
yeah.
I have a bidet.
Oh my God! Somehow the conversation
It always
always
comes
turns
up.
back.
That was the one opportunity that you get
Yeah.
one. You
One
get one
per
per
episode.
podcast, and
That's
that
it.
was it.
You've used it.
Speaking of bidet,
Okay.
we just came back from Cape Town and we
Yeah.
came back from Namibia.
Yep.
And let me tell you, Namibia is beautiful, man.
Oh,
They've got
yeah.
the infrastructure.
Hold on a second. You said you wanted to be me when you grow up. You've been to Africa more times in the last year than anyone I know, and I'm friends with Kevin Brittingham.
He lives there, dude.
Yeah, well,
He lives
He
there.
doesn't
We have
count.
to travel. We're poor.
Yeah. We did shoot. So
you did
we
shoot
worked.
a match.
We
You
worked.
dominated.
We
a match,
won. We
let's
won
be clear.
the nationals
Yeah.
over there. It was awesome. Had a great time. The people were unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, so welcoming.
accommodating.
Yeah,
Hospitality
I've never
is
felt
great.
more welcome.
I love South Africa.
Oh, and really cool point. I'm going to throw this in there. Had so many people come up to us and say, "Oh, I have a Taurus. I have this. I have that." Like so many people have Taurus firearms over there.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
10 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten that too when I was over there.
Yeah.
And stuff like we don't even offer in the U.S. Like
Yeah.
the T4 rifles, the ARs. You would think, I always thought that they couldn't own ARs there, but they can.
Yeah.
And they
They have
favor our rifle a lot.
That's super cool. Our PH had what type of revolver was it? What model was it?
I don't know. It was so
It was
old.
a 38 special.
Yeah,
It didn't
but
even have
the
the model
number
on it.
wasn't on there. It was
He
a little
had
bit
that.
longer barrel.
It was his father's who passed
Yeah.
away, rest in peace. And that's the gun that he carries on safari. And I was like, I've got to shoot something with this. The opportunity never
gosh.
came because I think the ammo was a little off and it wasn't grouping how it needed to group. The barrel might be shot out, but I shot
Yeah,
it.
it's extremely old.
And
so,
it was
yeah.
awesome. It was just nice to see our product
There
out
is
there.
a funny story though. So he's got this pistol, and then we have a rifle. He's like, if I see something close enough to the truck, I'm gonna, try and shoot at it. So
didn't tell you this.
ride it around, and we said it was a Steenbuck.
Steenbuck. It was
There's
a
a
big
Steenbuck.
Steenbuck.
It
Was that like a 5-inch
Which,
Steenbuck?
if you're not familiar, Steenbuck's a tiny animal.
It's one of the tiny
anyways.
tins, like the size of a
if
house
I was
cat.
an antelope, I'd be a Steenbuck.
Yeah.
I'd be a dick. Okay, go ahead.
So we're driving around, and we see one. He's standing right under a tree, and then he just beds down. And I think the rain was about to come in.
Oh, the rain was coming
So
in. It was
Casey's
there.
like, where's the pistol? Where's the pistol?
Give me
Where's
the
the pistol? By the time he gets the pistol, it has stood
No,
back up.
no, it didn't. It was sitting down. It's when I jumped off the truck, loud as hell. I jumped off hard.
and starts
Like,
running.
"Ugh."
yeah, like on my knees.
And starts running.
So I land like this, yeah. And then this Steenbuck's from here and goes, "What the heck?" And he runs off, and I'm like, "All right." And I start sprinting after.
Which
Bye,
they're
guys.
fast as shit, so
Super
good luck.
fast. Yeah. And I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll just run too." But it was a good time.
Needless to say, he didn't get one with the
No,
revolver, but it was cool too. I have some photos. We'll edit that in so everyone can see. It's a really cool photo. Old leather holster.
Yeah.
He carries it around in. Just has a ton of character.
Super cool.
It was neat.
Yeah. But Namibia is a gorgeous country.
Beautiful.
A little bit different from South Africa. It's still very wild. We went during the summer, so it was extremely hot.
Oh my gosh.
100
I mean, it's a
degrees.
desert, right?
Yes.
Yes,
It
but
was-
it's desert where we hunted in the south, but up north was very lush.
Really?
Yes. It was.
Green.
Everything was green. And they
Very
said this
green.
is a drought for them. I'm like, you can't
They sit
tell.
on a big well up
Yeah.
north. There's like a ton of water.
Yeah.
And the animals are there's plentiful. They're plentiful. They're big and they're doing well
Yeah.
up north. Up down
Yeah.
south is where it's a little tough, where only animals like oryx and gemsbuck will survive. Springbuck survive.
Yeah, that's what I always think of as like
Desert-based animals.
Kalahari desert
Yeah.
is Namibia, and then the dunes towards the coast. But I've never been. That's like one of my bucket list.
That's what
places.
I thought too. I looked. We're going on our 40th birthdays, but I looked and I literally thought it would be like sand dunes everywhere, like the movie Dune. And I was like, man, this is gonna be crazy.
That's kind of what
it
I was
wasn't
thinking.
that at all. It was the opposite. It was so lush and gorgeous.
Yeah.
We got to try what did we eat? Sable, one of our first nights. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Sable's good.
Sable
Sable is
backstrap.
good.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that was great.
That wasn't the first time we had it, but we did have
Was
it
it?
in the
Okay.
No, because we ate my sable in South Africa back in
right.
October.
That's right. That's why I keep you.
That's right.
You just forgot how often you were going to Africa.
How often we dine on sable.
Yeah.
But it's a great place. And
Yeah. We had, you'll like this, we had spring buck schnitzel.
Oh yeah, that's
was
right.
so
up
good.
there.
It was the best schnitzel I've
So
ever
Oh
had.
yeah,
good.
I'm not kidding.
It was like almost like a panko bread crust, not
Yeah.
the heavy flour.
It's
crust.
funny
Ugh.
in Southern
so
Africa
good.
you run into like some of that German and
A lot of German influence. Yeah.
Namibia even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've heard that.
Yeah.
There was a place up in northern South Africa. Trying to remember what the town was, but anyways, we stopped at this place and it was like
You're the Free State?
No, it was in Limpopo, but it was it was one of those kind of. It wasn't a tourist trap because it wasn't in a big city. It was like in a tiny little town, but you could buy little tchotchke stuff. So I bought my son at the time some little presents or whatever. But they had this like brewery attached to it, and they had a kudu schnitzel. That was and like mind you, I've been to Germany 45 times in my life. This was the best schnitzel I've ever had in my life. It was just incredible.
That's so awesome.
Would love to be able to replicate that with elk or something. I don't know.
Well, we just got to keep going back and figure out the mix.
Yeah. That was so good.
Do some reconnaissance, try and figure out some information.
Tell me about your schnitzel.
Yeah.
Careful with that. You might get some answers you're not ready for.
Tell me about that schnitzel, bro.
Is your schnitzel big?
How thick is your schnitzel?
Oh my god!
What?
Thank goodness we don't have to have these approved by HR.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about food. It was a good time, and as you can tell, we love to hunt. And if you're not a hunter, like, do a little research because this is the kind of cool stuff you get to do. You get to spend genuine time with your loved ones, your close friends, and heal in Mother Nature. And it's like stuff that you can't replicate and reproduce. It's just
you're right.
time.
I mean, my closest friends are the ones that I've been in hunting camps with, and a lot of them
lifelong friends.
A lot of them I met in hunting camps.
Yes.
And then the other ones are ones that we've made effort to go somewhere and hunt together. And I think one of the cool things is being able to go. Like obviously, I love hunting in the U.S. I love I grew up mule deer hunting. I love mule deer, elk, all the different types of hunting that we have in North America, but I also love going down to Argentina and experiencing the food and wine and people, and then getting to hunt on top of that. And same thing with Africa. I mean, it's just a special place that
it is.
It's really hard to. I feel like I'm overselling it to people when I tell them about it because I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And then they get there and they're like, "This is
I get it,
unbelievable."
That's what she told me. I get it.
He had no interest in going for the longest time, and I kept telling him, I was like, you just need to go. You need to experience.
Just see it.
Nothing I can say can prepare you for it. It's just kind of a magical place that
it's majestic.
Once you're there, you get it. And it kind of never leaves you either.
No,
I had been 20 years ago and always wanted to go back. And then finally he was ready to go, and he understands it now. It's
and then
like,
when you took your
and now he basically lives there. So.
I mean, he's African now.
Afrikaans.
Yeah.
When you took your sable when we went our last time,
I cried.
You literally cried.
I
was
cried.
like, I love this. This is what it's about. And if you've never hunted before, like, I'll tell you right now, the killing, the hunting portion isn't even my favorite part. It's the before and after is the beautiful journey about the whole thing. It makes it so organic and beautiful, where you're out with your friends and family, your loved ones, you're on that spot and stalk, and then afterwards you're there giving respects to said animal, and then you're also being able to put your hands on the animal, and then you're able to make sure that, hey, nothing of this animal goes to waste. And it's just a beautiful process.
To me, like, all of that's very true. My first trip to South Africa I loved, but it wasn't it wasn't as special as the next couple of trips. Yeah. And part of that is just like where I was, which, you know, we don't really need to get into. But once I started hunting with Crusader, and there's others also that are, you know, just like this, you know, the people were great.
The company.
Yeah. And so one of the things with South Africa, you can get a good deal if you buy a package.
Yeah.
And what that means is you get, you know, these 4 or 5 animals and it's X amount and it's flat rate, whatever. And that's great. That's what I did my first time. I don't regret that. Mm-hmm. That's probably what I did my second time also with Crusader. But Andrew Pringle sat me down one year at, I think, the Dallas Safari Club, and he said, look, he's like, I know you might be trying to save a couple bucks doing a package. He's like, the thing with our property, and the property we were hunting was almost 500,000 acres.
It's almost 1 million now.
So, well, and between their concessions that they have and the 3 properties they own, it's close to 1 million. It's like, he's like, look, you can leave the house and you don't know what animals you're going to see on any given day.
Yeah.
A la carte,
and he's
baby.
like, and if you're focused on a package, you're only hunting those animals. Yeah. And you might see other stuff that you go hunt, but you're missing part of the experience by doing that. And he's 100% right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so this last trip, when I shot that buffalo, the buffalo definitely wasn't part of any package, but the whole thing was like, I'm just going to go and be in the truck and go glass stuff and just hunt. And it was so much more enjoyable that way.
I think so too.
The animals that they do have over there are so different and so unique. You learn so much about them. Mm-hmm. And then probably my favorite part of hunting over there is at the end of the day, you know, you're generally not hunting by anybody, but at the end of the day, you end up close, and I think that's by design.
Yeah.
And you're high up on a mountain somewhere, and, you know, shout out to Rad Robertson at Crusader. He pulls out his little car bar that he has in the back of his truck and pours a nice gin drink, and you watch the sun go down and kind of relive the moments of the day. And, you know, you're talking to your buddies. What, do you see any kudu today? And, you know, whatever. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I think
that's the best.
The friendships forged, you know, when you're out there in the wilderness is something that you can't do anywhere else in the world. And it's everyone that we meet, we're typically lifelong friends with them. Like, you stay in touch, you are excited to see this person. It's not like, oh God, here's Johnny so and so. No, it's like, oh my God, Johnny's here. Let me give him a hug. Let's talk. Let's catch up. Like, it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, it's a special place for sure.
What the heck? We were supposed to be talking about the rifle, and then we get caught on
this is all part of the rifle.
Yeah, it's true. This is where this rifle's going to go.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
Rifle and the trip. It's all the expedition.
Yeah, and what this thing is going to do, and what this tool, this rifle is going to do to connect everyone else together as well. Like, you're gonna meet 100 people with this rifle. Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah. What other platform will do that in our community? And it's just a beautiful thing.
What cartridges were you guys hunting with in Africa this last trip? I know you said you were shooting it infield.
There was
which is hilarious. But what else?
This guy brought this rifle out, and I'm like, is he for real? Is this a joke? And
is this a Civil War reenactment? What is going on here?
It literally.
It was really cool though. Like, it was neat.
The whole spiel he gave me was like, okay, this isn't a normal rifle. This is from 1942 or 1946, and you got to do this. You pull the bolt back. Look, if you pull the trigger, it's not going to go off. You have to pull this like a pinball machine, and then
pull it back,
when you pull the trigger, you got to pull it and pull it again, and then grip your hand, and it'll go off. I'm like, oh. This is in like 10 seconds. I'm like, okay.
And I only understood half of it because of the accent was so heavy.
And I'm using this on a Damara Dik one of the smaller tiny 10
Yeah, it's like less than 7 pounds.
I'm like, are you going to have time to go through this whole routine before it runs off?
And you can only shoot this animal in Namibia. I'm technically here just for that. That's what I really wanted. Anything else is this extra.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope I don't mess this up. Man.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. We used, it was a 303. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We shot 30-06 for a majority of it, and then also 308. is what we used. So, but 30-06 was great. And, you know, in Africa, my favorite round is 375 H&H because you can use that on everything. But once we get our hands on a fix, and I want to be able to use that 8.6 blackout for sure.
I think, you know, like going to Africa, you can take multiple rifles. Yeah. And so it makes a lot of sense. But I would say, like, have a 308 with you at all times.
For sure.
308's my favorite,
you shoot
hands
everything
down.
with it.
Yeah.
When you travel and hunt, like, everywhere has 308.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know,
Universal
not everywhere will have 8.6 because
Yeah.
it's just not as established yet.
Or 375.
Even 6.5. I mean, 6.5 is very popular in South Africa right now. But let's say you're up in Zimbabwe somewhere remote, you might not find it. And if your ammo for whatever reason didn't make the trip, typically it's in your checked luggage. But you know,
they can take it away.
Things happen.
Yeah, things can happen.
You know, you got to be able to find some rounds to be able to hunt with.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked the question. I think it's an important part of what we're doing here too. You know, these are the most popular cartridges that we can offer.
Accessibility.
Yeah, we used 308 the entire time in South Africa back in October.
Yeah, it's
almost
great.
all of our animals
Exclusively almost a 308.
You can shoot most stuff with a 308
Yeah.
there. I mean, they're tough animals and certainly like
Tougher than ours.
Yeah, they are. Like
bigger, hardier.
Even the smaller ones are tough.
Yeah, everything is tough there. You know,
they gotta be.
Everything fights to the death, and you know, like 308 on a water buck, it's probably gonna kill it, but you might spend some time tracking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But most everything, kudu, impala, all that stuff, 308 is good medicine there.
Yeah, it really is.
But to your point about 375, like everything's tough.
Yeah,
375 is a great cartridge for that.
375 is tougher.
Yeah.
Is because you have that R8? What caliber is that? I've shot it at 3.
I have two. I have a 300 Win Mag and a 375.
That's right.
Yeah. The 375's in the wood stock, and then I have that synthetic stock with the adjustable cheek piece for 300 Win Mag. Okay, which is what I hunted with last time I was there for part of the trip. I had a fix, and I had that blazer. We obviously didn't have this yet. So I had the fix in 6.5. I had that 300 Win Mag, and then I had the 460 pistol.
What an arsenal!
Yeah, the police that checked in my guns were like looking at that with that
Trying
pistol.
To take country
like,
over?
What are you doing? They were very confused.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I'm happy at least in South Africa you can bring a revolver, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you can carry it on your person if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think to make your life easy, do something with an optic mount on it.
Yeah.
Just because you can sell that to whoever's checking your guns as a hunting gun, and you just won't have any problem. But I think
like a magnified optic. You're
no
saying?
red dot.
Red dot.
Yeah,
okay.
anything like that. But I think a medium frame revolver with a red dot on it. Yeah, tuck that thing in your waistband.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it's literally a backup gun.
Yeah. Oh, we found out you can't take handguns to Namibia.
Nope, not in Namibia.
But.
Yeah. So I'm definitely grateful we live in such a, free nation where you're able to exercise your freedoms. We take that for granted. And when you go to a different country, a third world country, they don't have those freedoms. So shout out to the USA for being so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Bret, for
Thank you,
carving
Bret.
out
My
some
pleasure. This
time
was
and
fun.
chatting with us.
Yeah.
Get to catch up. We haven't seen you since SHOT Show, maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Been
been
busy.
too
2
long.
months.
We've been
For
living
sure.
in Africa for a couple of months. So,
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. We
I've
live
been-
super close, and we still haven't been able to see each other.
I've
We had
been
to
in the
come-
office working, and you guys have been
we were working too. We
No,
have an outdoor
no,
office.
yeah, let's be real though. You guys dominated a match in South Africa
Yeah, we came
We
back.
did good.
last
Immediately.
week.
Yeah.
Dominated
Yep.
another match down
Still
in Florida.
nationals.
Steel
Still
Nationals.
nationals.
Yeah. We got 2 nationals in the bag already,
Yeah,
so that's nice.
It's only March.
Let's keep the train. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only March. That's
right.
wonderful. Let's keep the train.
Oh.
And
Really?
we're shooting more matches in South Africa because our World Championships next year, as you know, is going to be in South Africa.
Right.
So there's 2 matches over there we're going to try and shoot next year before the Worlds, and just to try and get the training that we need that we can't get in the U.S. for that type of
They've
shooting.
got different courses of fire.
Yeah.
Understanding how to navigate a different country is a huge thing.
Yeah,
especially with
taking
firearms.
pistols.
Yeah.
Not a hunting rifle.
Yeah.
This is easy to explain.
Yeah.
Pistols are tough.
A race gun or something like that is.
Yeah.
What is
I
it?
was actually really nervous. We flew into Cape Town. That's where the match was. And I told Casey, anytime we've traveled, there's either a much bigger event, so they know everyone's coming in with guns,
Oh,
or
yeah,
a
easy.
PH is meeting us. And we were flying in on our own. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. I'm a little nervous.
Just
I
to
have all the
interrupt you real
permits.
quick, in Thailand, for the World Shoot, there were people meeting us there.
Yeah.
And when we went to go do our gun paperwork stuff, when we finished, the people that were doing our paperwork asked for autographs, and then they asked for pictures. We're like, oh, that's easy.
That's
They
cool.
were sport shooters as well, so they knew what was going on. I
Yeah.
was like, we're
Oh,
flying in
okay.
here. I've never
It was
flown
easy.
into another country, and someone wasn't there to help
Yeah.
Yeah.
get
It was
us
easy
through.
in Cape
But
Town. They were nice.
Cape Town was a breeze. Yeah.
And I've actually heard Cape Town can be a little difficult, especially with not necessarily getting through the airport, but like you can't just book any hotel and expect to go in there with your rifle case or whatever.
Oh, so I didn't know that.
So you got to be kind of careful with
Yeah.
that. Even in Johannesburg, the
Yeah.
main
Hotel.
airport hotel.
Intercontinental.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say the name, but we'll
Oh,
bleep that out.
my bad.
But they do not allow firearms in there.
Oh, I didn't
I'm
know
sure
that.
people do it
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other hotel, like you just keep walking a little
Yeah.
ways. They do, and so we stayed at that one, and we ate dinner at the Intercontinental because the restaurant's great.
Quills.
Quills.
Quills,
Oh,
yeah,
that
the place
restaurant's
is
good.
great.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
But yeah, same thing. I guess Cape Town has a lot of
Yeah.
restrictions like that, and you just got to
See, I didn't even know that.
careful.
I didn't even think about that.
USA.
Yeah.
Well, it
USA.
is
Yeah.
funny though, because when we go over there to hunt, like we're with people that obviously are PHs and
They know the
carry
drill.
they
They're
carry
scared away.
guns, they do all that.
Yeah.
Most of the population doesn't own a gun there,
Yeah.
and like I think there's 4 South African families in our neighborhood. None of them hunt. None of them own
Yeah.
guns. Like I think of all of them owning guns because
Yeah,
the people
all
I'm
hunters.
with when
Yeah.
I'm over there do, but it's
Yeah.
not the case.
I think the market
Yeah.
share that they have, some of the shooters were telling me, it's like 3%. Where like
Yeah.
what's the U.S. in the world? It's a very high number.
Yeah, it's a
It's
lot.
like
Highest,
It's
I
a
would-
lot.
a
Yeah.
lot. I don't want to say the number, but it's a lot. It's the most.
Yeah.
And they're very jealous of what we have, and like I said, we take it for granted sometimes, and we hope that the culture can grow and spread in all the other countries, and they understand the importance of having and owning a firearm.
Yeah.
That responsibility.
Yeah.
No, very cool. Well, it's great to see
Yep.
you guys.
Thank
and
you,
too.
Brett.
catch up
Appreciate
and
you.
Thanks
Proud
again.
of
This will
what
be
you
a
guys
good
have been
one.
doing.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much.
awesome.
Thank you for what you've been doing, and
Absolutely.
creating such amazing products for us to showcase and utilize, and especially with this one, we're
Yeah,
very,
we're gonna
very
follow up
excited
in August after your hunt.
Yeah, the rifle will look a little different, but
Yeah.
it'll be
Even
fun.
better.
about.
It's an
Scratched
extra
up and-
rendition.
yeah, perfect.
Exactly. Exactly. No,
All
it's been
right.
fun.
All right.
It's awesome.
Good deal.
The Taurus By the Horns podcast. By the Horns.